you're choosing a nonprofit. Make sure that that nonprofit is getting the support they need from college students specifically. This part is the written part. This is the plan part. Write 100 words or less for the situation, addressing each of these specific bullet points. Do the same thing for strategic objectives, audience analysis, and of course, the campaign strategies and tactics. And then this is more the overview that applies to all sections. This is the first, our major assignments in public relations. And the other part is a actual portfolio of work. This first part is just the plan. The second part is the portfolio of work. Public relations is one part of an integrated marketing communications plan. And this is the plan for public relations specifically.
What would you consider like primary research and secondary research?
I'm glad you asked. I have a video on that. If you scroll down here, the button, there's the button, there's the button. Someone has asked primary and secondary research. So I'm going to click that button. That's going to explain the difference between primary and secondary research. FAQ updates. So these are questions that people might have asked about the assignment, and I just add them to the bottom of the assignment. That way people can find them more easily. But to answer your question now, so you don't have to go watch the video, primary research is research that you do yourself. Secondary research is where you find sources. If you're doing a survey yourself, which we want you to do, and you're creating a bank of questions to ask other college students about your specific client, then that's what you're focusing on for primary research.
And so we do have to incorporate a survey into this?
Yeah. And I would recommend a survey. Some people choose to do qualitative interviews where you get a richer, more depth of information if you do like 10 of those. But the goal for the surveys is like 250 people. So basically send them to all your classes, ask people who are college students. They don't have to be UTSA college students to count for your survey. We're not checking to see if you've done 250 surveys. We're interested in the data and making sure that you have a good sample set. So make sure that your sample set is good. And if it's not, make sure you do some qualitative research where you're asking people interview questions to support whatever claims you're then going to do in your IMC plan. This is a much quicker checklist overview of what you have due in public relations. So this is the overview. So these are the things due in the first part of the assignment, explained in greater detail on that Adobe Express webpage. But this plan is what you're going to use as the foundation for your portfolio assignment. So this is the research, this is the execution. It has a lot of research and a lot of creative and critical thinking about how to speak to your audience of college students to get them to part with their time, treasure, or talent to support the particular nonprofit that you have chosen. I mean, the difference between journalism and public relations is public relations, there's lots of differences, but one of the big differences is you're an advocate in public relations. You are advocating on behalf of your client or your organization. So focus on first, of course, is the situation and strategic objectives and audience analysis. From that, you build your creative campaign tactics, the strategies. The part that you're going to have to really think about is the current strategic position of your organization in the marketplace. We hate to think of nonprofits as competitors, but we only have so much attention, money, and time to give. So looking for other organizations in the marketplace that have crossover, who are either your competitors or your potential partners. You can say, here's who they're already working with, and here's who I suggest they work with. We're not inventing anything. The only thing we're inventing is our strategic suggestion. If you think that they have solid partnerships already, then you say that and you move on, because you want to do everything you can to help this real organization. This organization is going to take a look at your plan and say, how can we get better by looking at this plan? The research supports the claims. You have the warrant, you have the claim. The claim is always supported by the research that you've done to support that claim. For anything that's really important but couldn't fit in 100 words, you can always put it in an appendix that isn't a part of this, that is an addition to this. So for example, a lot of people will put the survey results, all of the results, like 1 in 5 people said this, 2 in 3 people said this, or 30% of people said that, in the appendix. But they're only using a few of those research points to support their claim because the other ones happen to be irrelevant. And we're not going to pay attention to the fact that college students prefer pizza over burgers because that wasn't relevant to my campaign idea. Maybe, and if it is relevant, I'm going to put it in my under 100 words because that's essential. The how is right. This creative campaign strategies and tactics. That's how we're going to get it done.